Hi guys, how are you all doing? In this video, I'm gonna be talking about JavaScript tricks and I'll explain you guys how you can manipulate data and how you can use some shortcuts, use built-in functions that JavaScript provides to actually do awesome things with JavaScript objects, arrays, functions, strings, and a lot more things. So it will cover up in 2 to 3 videos. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about JavaScript objects and JavaScript arrays. So I've opened up JavaScript file and I'm using VS Code. So I would request you guys to actually open up JavaScript code editor, or you can also use the console window of your browser to actually try out a lot more awesome things of JavaScript, right? So first of all, I'm gonna create an object. So let's say I have created this object, right? My name. And now what are the different ways that JavaScript provides to iterate these objects? It has 2 key value pairs and there can be a lot more key value pairs in a particular objects, right? So how can I iterate it? There are multiple ways. I'm gonna be talking about all those ways. So one is for you in name, right? And if I just log you, it will give me a key, first or last. And if I want to print out a value of each key, I can use name you. Okay, name is an object and you will refer to this each key and it will print out the value of it. So I'm gonna be outputting JS objects. So now you can see first Umair and last Jamil. So I'm iterating through all the keys and all these values like this, and this is the one way. And another way is to use off operator. So let you off, but off actually does not return us key. We need to manually fetch the keys for that. Okay, so object dot keys and name, right? And now log you name you, right? Let me run this file. Now you can see it has printed the same thing, but I'm using off operator. Okay, you either use in or either use off, but for off you can use objects dot keys, right? And another thing that we can use to iterate through this object is using object dot entries, right? Name, and then I can use for what it happened. Yeah, so this is an element, but what it will do is entries, it's going to give me both the keys and the values. So I'm iterating through the for each. It means that I need to be receiving both the key and value. So for that I can use key and the value in the form of array, right? Let's add parentheses around this array. And now if I print key and value in the log, I should see the same result as above, right? So it's up to you which way you want to go with. This is the in keyword that returns keys, and this is the off that does not return keys, but we can use it like this. So guys, this was about iterating objects. Another cool concept that I want to talk about, how we can convert objects into arrays, right? So let me create an object, name and age 28, right? This is an object and I want to convert it into an array. How can I do it? There are multiple ways, right? So first one is, let's say, array, and now object dot keys person, it's going to give me the array of all the keys, so I can iterate through the keys of this object. So I have got this key, name and age, and then for each key I can use array.push, and I can push an array, right? And for each array I can use key and person key, right? So let's print this out and let's see. Let me just comment above code to make the console a bit cleaner. So key is not defined. Where is the key? This is the key I'm receiving. So which keys is not defined? It's about 18, 29. So it's saying this is not. Let me save this file and run it again. So it says key is not defined, 29 number. So, oh, sorry guys, I need to use this operator. This is the shorthand for the function, right? So yeah, I need to log the array. So now you can see that this name and Umair and age and 28 have been converted in the form of arrays, and it's up to you how you want to construct the array. I've just added a two-dimensional array, and each array is having both the keys and the values against it, right? And let's talk about the other ways of doing it. So object console.log, so I can use object.keys person, and I can use a map operator of JavaScript, and map is going to let me convert the key and person key, right? So let's see what does it do. So it's gonna do same things. It's much easier. We don't need to create a separate variable and push it in that variable. It's directly going to convert the object into an array, right? So it's going to do same thing. There is another way of converting, and it's quite smaller way. Okay, so object dot entries and entries and person. Let me change it to the entries, right? Let's log. Now you can see the third one is coming from here, so it's quite straightforward. We don't need to add a lot of this code. Entries just convert the object into an array, so that's quite straightforward, right? So how cool is that? Let's move forward, and now I want to talk about what are the different ways if any particular object, any particular key exists in a particular object, right? So let me just copy this person, and here let me paste this, and I want to find out if it's exist in it or not, right? So console log, if name exists in person, I can simply write name, it should be in the form of string, in person, right? And there are other ways as well. Let me log both of those. So person dot has own property, right? And I want to pass it a name. Let me log it, and now you can see both is true. It means that the name exists in this object, and also this name exists in this object as well. So this is recommended thing. I would recommend you to use this thing. Sometimes this won't give you some quite a good result, because objects is having a lot of hidden properties as well for its whether it's read its permission properties, you know what I mean, edit, delete or something like that. So this won't give us result in that case. In fact, this will give us right result. Okay, so if we write something that's not the part of this object, it will return us false, right? So now how can we change the permission for this object? If I want this object to not to be changed, no property should be deleted, or a value of a particular key should not be changed, or what are the different ways we can do that. Okay, so let me just copy this line and I'm going to comment here and let me paste it. And now let's say that I don't want anybody to add any new key value pair in this particular object. So how I can do it? First of all, let me add person.id equals to 1. Okay, and now I'm gonna log person. So let's see, you can see ID has been added in this object. Now I want to prevent this from being added. Okay, so I will come up and I will write object dot prevent extensions and I will pass in a person. Okay, so now you will see that it won't allow us to add any new property. Okay, but if I try to change name, let's say Ali, and now you can see we can change the name of this particular object. So how can we prevent this from being edited? Okay, so we can prevent this first of all before we actually stop preventing the changing the values. We can like add a condition if any property should not be deleted. How can we do it? Okay, so for doing that, we use, first of all, let me comment this line, and if I try to delete this property using this keyword delete, and let's see if it gets deleted. Now you can see it has been deleted. Now let's bring back this line, and rather than writing prevent extension, I can use seal. Okay, and let's see what happens. Now you can see name and age are both existing even if I've deleted it. So seal actually help us to stop deleting any particular property. Okay, and now what if I want to change the value of existing properties, and the same thing will happen using the freeze keyword. Okay, freeze keyword will not let me change the value of name or age. So let's see, name equals to Ali. Okay, so let's see, now you can see it is retaining its value. So this value has not been edited. Okay, so what freeze do is freeze won't actually let us edit the values, and it won't let us delete the particular key of this object as well. Okay, so freeze do both the things, right? And seal that I used earlier will prevent us from adding or deleting existing key or adding new key. Okay, so there are few functions as well. Let's say if I want to check whether this object is freezed, sealed, or it has been added as an extensible or not. Okay, so there are multiple properties for actually checking if this object is extensible. Means we can add new properties. We have a keyword called, I want you to note it down, so it is extensible, and I can pass a person here. Okay, this will give us, let me log it as well. Okay, so this will give us info that if this particular object is extensible, means if we used prevent extensions for this object or not. And for sealed, we can use is sealed function, and for is frozen. Okay, so let's log out, and now you can see false. False means this object is extensible. Okay, is not extensible, which is false. Is sealed, that's true because this object is sealed. Freeze do both the things. Is frozen, yes, it's frozen. So these are the functions that we can use to check what is the state of permissions for a particular object. So how cool is that, guys? right? So if you like my video, make sure you don't forget to subscribe my channel. Also, let's move forward, and we have a lot more things to cover in this video. So next, what we're gonna do is, let's say that um, I wanna find out a computed value. Let's say filters object. That's if we have a key 1 equals to name. Okay, I'm going to copy this from above. Let me just add this. So this is the name, and var object equals to, and here I don't know what to, if I don't know what to be the key name of this particular key value pair, and I have and this name of key is dynamic, and the dynamic means that it's coming from some kind of functions, and someone is trying to add a key name by filling out the form. So I can't directly write key 1, and which is name and Umair. Okay, and let me just try to log object. Now you can see it is the key 1, means key 1 is exactly the name, but I want to use the value within this variable. If it's a variable, so I need to use square brackets, right? So now you can see this name has been updated over here. So now the key 1, the value of this key 1 has been added as a key of this particular object, right? So now I want to cover up few things about spread operator, but I have created a video on spread operator already on my channel. I'm gonna give the link of that video in the description of this video. I want you guys to learn about the spread operator in objects, in arrays, and in functions, and it's so cool operator. So just check out that video if you want to learn about the spread operator. Now that's pretty much it for the objects. I want to talk about arrays manipulation in JavaScript, and also the cool things that what we can do in arrays of JavaScript, right? So let's say I want to have items in the form of array. So Apple, MI, Samsung, right? So these are the items. Let me try to run it. JS arrays, right? Okay, nothing happens because we have not logged anything over here. Okay, so let's say I want to make a clone of this array, not pass by reference but pass by value. So what do I mean by it? Okay, so first of all, let's say new array equals to the item, and new array I just like 0 equals to hello, right? So if I log item, you will see that the first index value has been changed to hello, even though I didn't change item array, I changed new array. Okay, the thing happening here is like it's this new array storing the reference of the registers of RAM this item array is referring to. Okay, so no matter if we change this array or this array, both the values are going to be changed because both the arrays are referring to the same addresses, same blocks of RAM. Okay, because the local data is being stored in the RAM, that's what we use memory for. Okay, so how can we clone that? So we changed from here, it shouldn't affect in the previous item. There are 3 ways I want to explain you guys. So first one is like item dot slice 0. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Now you can see the first item of this array has been retained to Apple and it is not changed. It means that it created a new space in the RAM and initialized all these values in a new space and get the reference of that space of RAM in this variable. Okay, so what are the different ways we can do it? So we can also do it item. Let's remove it. Just write empty array dot concat and item. Okay, this will also do the same. Let's log, and you can see that it is printed out the same thing. Okay, and let me log new array just to let you guys know whether it actually created the same array or not. It is same. And now the value has been changed for this array only because it's passed by value, and the item has retaining all the previous values. Okay, so there is one cool way that's called spread operator that we can use to actually clone the particular array, and that is dot 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 item, right? So it's gonna do the same thing, apple. So you can see it has retained its value, and this hello has been changed. So this has cloned it like this. Okay, right guys, and next I want to talk about let's say if we have an array for items equals to 1 2 3 multiple integers, and we have 0, we have undefined, we have false, we have nan, we have null, and what we can have, let's keep it like this. Okay, so let's say that I want to remove all the unnecessary values, falsy values we can call it. So what are the falsy values? 0 is false. Falsy value means any particular value, if we convert it into Boolean, it will return us false. False will remain false because it's already Boolean. Undefined will return us false if we convert it into Boolean. Nan, null, 0, all are going to give us same things. Okay, so how can we remove all the falsy values from an array and only maintain integers? Okay, right. So now let's directly log, right? So items dot filter item, and it's going to filter out. I need to make a check over here, a conditional thing that is going to filter out only the truth values. Okay, so how can I detect the falsy values? So let me convert all the items into Boolean and check if it was true, then only keep the true values in this items array. Okay, so let's see what happens. So you guys, you can see it has removed all the falsy values and it has retained because I have checked this thing. Okay, so now what we can do next is how can I fill up a particular array with different values from different ranges. Okay, and I can do it like, let me copy this, paste it, let me comment above everything. Okay, so this is an array and I want to fill up these values from something. Okay, so items dot fill is a built-in function of JavaScript. I want to fill up with the dollar sign. Okay, so let's see what happens. So you can see all the values have been changed to the dollar sign. Okay, and it can have a start range. Let's see, I want to start off from the 4th index. So 0 1 2 3 4. So it will start off from 4. Let's see what happens. So it has started from the 4th index and it has converted all the values to dollars, where we need to end from 4th and 5. So it's only gonna change the one value. Okay, start range, end range, and which value we want to append to it, right? So next thing I want to give you guys, let's say you want to create an array of numbers from 1 to 1000, are you going to spend initializing an array and you actually gonna be spending a lot of time? There are built-in functions in JavaScript that can give you such kind of arrays. Okay, so array, and I can write array dot from, and I can give it a length of 1000. Okay, let me make it 100. I wanna look at quite well a value index and index plus 1. Index plus 1 is what is like I don't wanna add 0 at start. I wanna start off array from 1. Okay, so let me run it, and now you can see this is an array has been created from 1 to 100. And if you intend to create this array, you could have spent around 5 to 10 minutes to create this array, but this awesome function let us create this array much quicker. Okay, so now let's say that let me just copy this array from top, and now I want to talk about if we have an array and mi again, Apple again, and we have Vivo, we have Oppo, right? So you can see there are some duplicate values in this array. So how can we fetch the unique values from this array, right? I won't be talking about any new function. It's just like we are using our existing knowledge to use efficiently. Okay, so console.log, and I want to filter out item.filter, and filter actually give me three things. Okay, one is the value, then the index. So item is the value, then there is an index, and what does it give? Then it give us an array. Okay, array that we can access. The array is same as the item. Okay, and we can have an index of array dot index of and item equals to index, and if it is equals to index, then we are actually going to return an item, otherwise we are going to return empty string. Okay, so let's see what happens. So it has returned us Apple mi, so it has not. Let me just go through it and let me see where I went wrong. Index of item, actually here I should end it. So now you can see it has returned me this array with all the unique values. There is no duplication of values, right? So this is, I'm using a string, but for working with the integers, you don't need to pass the string here. You can pass an integer over here, like 0 or minus values. That will work for us. Okay, so just to explain you guys what's happening over here, we are filtering out this array, and here we are receiving single item Apple mi Samsung. This is the index of single item. This is the whole array. Okay, and after that, on each item we are checking the index of this item, that what is the index of this item, and we are checking if it is equals to index, right? So if it is equals to index, then we are returning an item. Okay, otherwise we are returning this empty string. Empty string will be neglected by filter. Okay, so this is how we can find the unique values from here. So there is another cool way of doing it. So JavaScript provide us a cool way, that's by using the set class. Okay, so this has to be in the spread operator, and then we are going to create a set, right? And here we are gonna pass an item. Okay, so I'm going to just comment above code, right? So here I think the problem is this is already an array. Why I am converting it into an array? So I need to remove these square brackets. Okay, now let's print out. Now you can see that it has this line did remove the duplicated values, and this has done the same thing. So how awesome and shortcut this way of doing removing the duplication from it. Okay, so this is how you can do it, right? And one awesome thing I want to talk about is how you can find the exponents. So you can find the exponents like let me just comment this, and I want to create var value equals to 2, and I want to find the exponents, so 2 power 4. Okay, so if I log value, it's going to give me 16. Earlier, I think this is the part of ES6 or ES7 of JavaScript, ECMAScript 7 or 8. So earlier, what we used to do is math.par for actually passing it the first base and then the exponent value. But now JavaScript actually letting us not to use math library, but directly use the double this statics to actually find the exponents. Now the last thing I want to talk about in terms of arrays for this video is how you can find the index of a particular item in an array, not using the index of function that array provides us, but there is an awesome operator that we can use. Okay, so let me copy an array from the top and I'm gonna paste over here. Let me just copy it, and what if I want to find out if Apple or MI exists in it or not? So item dot index of MI is greater than is less than 0, right? Then I want to log not found, right? Else console.log found. Okay, so let me run it, and you can see it is found because what index of works in a way that if this value exists in this array, it's gonna give us a positive value, 0 or greater than 0. If it is doesn't found, it's gonna give us negative value. So less than 0 means that it's not found, then not found, because it's gonna give less than 0. And if it's found, then yeah, we're gonna do something. But I don't want to use this thing less than 0 or greater than equals to 0 or positive or negative. I want to use the JavaScript provided operator. So I just want to remove it, and there is an operator above tab. This operator. Okay, I don't know what I can call it. So let's see what happens. Not found. Actually, it needs to be found and it needs to be not found. So how it will work, if the MI found in this array, then this condition will work. Okay, it's same as if it is greater than 0 or greater than -1. Okay, so now it is found. Okay, so this is an awesome cool operator that you can use. Okay, cool tricks on VS Code. So let's start with array. This concept is got from Python. Let's say we have two variables, and if we want to swap the values of these two variables, it can be done so simply. what we can do is we can add a comma b in square brackets, and we can add b comma a in square brackets. And now I can log a and b, and you will see that both the values will be printed after swapping the variables 3 and 2. You can see here it is printed, uh, whereas the values previously was 2 and 3. So these have been swapped. So this is now available in JavaScript, but earlier it was available in Python only. So let's move forward in the second JavaScript scripts. So now variable, I wanna add a condition equals to true. So this is a condition. Let's say I want to print something based upon this condition. We can have any condition, right? I'm gonna put up my name over here, right? So I want to add a condition. If this is true, I want to log this value, right? But rather than having any condition, we can have a simpler method than this. We can copy the condition over here and just put the AND operator, and it's what it's gonna do is it's going to print Umair, right? You can see here it has printed Umair. Now if I make it false, it won't print anything in the console. You can see it is not printing anything. So if you have a condition and you only want to do one thing under the if condition, whether it's a log, it's an assignment thing, or anything you want to do, you want to call another function, you can just add a condition over here and just call a function right after this. So this is how it's gonna be working so quickly. How cool is that? Now I'm gonna move forward about functions, and for actually running the function, let me open up a browser. So this is the console window of Chrome browser, and this is the code I have just pasted. What it's doing is it is actually adding an event listener of scroll, and against this event listener I'm calling this function that I've just created, and within this function I'm logging the current date, right? So I will run it and I will scroll down, and now you can see it's printing a lot of dates as I slowly scrolling down, right? So I don't want to do it. What I want to do is I want to limit of milliseconds, that even though if I'm scrolling, keep on scrolling, but this function should only trigger after some time, after few milliseconds, or based upon any condition. It's not restricted to only milliseconds. So I'm going to be implementing a concept, something called debounce function. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to create a debounce function above it. So debounce equals to, and I want to receive a function and time, right? And under it I can add a timeout, and I can return another function, and I want to clear timeout here, right? And timeout equals to set timeout, and this is going to be a func and the time, right? So this is how the syntax of timeout works. So this is the closing curly braces for the return inner function. This is for the outer function. Now within this scroll, I want to put this whole function within this debounce function because it is receiving a function. So I'm going to send this particular function as a param to this function, and also I'm going to set the time after how much time this should trigger. Okay, so debounce, and this is going to be the on scroll, and I want to give it 500 milliseconds, right? So now hit enter. Now if I scroll down, it's not working in a way I want. So let's debug the code. It's also a part of programming. Okay, so function time, and we have the timeout, then we are going to return it like this, and I'm clearing this timeout with this variable timeout, and this timeout I'm calling this set timeout function with this time, and also calling this particular function. Okay, so one thing you want to do here is you want to refresh this page using control F5 because I want to clear the cache. Sometimes what's happened is the previous code keeps on running whatever we write in console. So for actually new functions or new variable to work from scratch, you need to cache refresh the page. Okay, so I'm just refreshing the page, and I'm hoping that it will reset the cache, and I will have the fresh console window, right? So this is the code I write. Meanwhile, I can just align it properly, right? So it is now aligned, and I hope that it will work perfectly now, right? So now let's hit enter. Now I'm scrolling down. Now you can see that it's not printing it in that much speed. It is waiting for half a second, 500 millisecond, and then it is calling this function. So this is called the debounce function, and we have passed this function to it, and we have added some kind of conditional based in order to call this function. It's not compulsory that you only load this function based upon the time you are passing. You can add any condition to it, and based upon that condition we can actually call this particular function. Let's say I want to pass out that which event was triggered to this function. I can also do that if I just add e over here, event, and I can pass this event to this function, and then I can receive it to this one. Okay, and I can also output e over here, right? If I hit enter, and it's going to return us an event for all the properties, that which event was triggered at what time, current target compose. So it's really helpful. Source element, there are a lot of properties. So this is how we can pass variables to it, and also the event handler. So this is called debounce function. And now I want to talk about a function, something called a once function. What it does is it only gets called once, no matter how much time we actually trigger it. Okay, it will only be called at once. So let me just paste the previous code, and now I want to actually change this code a bit. Okay, so I'm going to update this debounce function. So let me change this function name to 1, and I can pass params to it rather than the time, and inside it let me add a variable ran equals to false, and let me remove e, and let me remove these both of these lines, and I'm gonna add an if condition, if ran, and inside it ran equals to true, and now I want to return a function with params, right? So this function, this is an on scroll, this is going to receive params from here, and I want to pass 1, and on scroll, and as a param I can pass any value scrolled, right? So let me hit enter. Unexpected end of input. Okay, so yeah, I think I missed the bracket ending curly braces for if, right? So it should work now. Now if I scroll down, e is not defined, right guys? Okay, here I don't need to print e, in fact I need to print params. Okay, this is what I'm passing. So if I scroll down, you can see this scrolled is printed, right? And this value is coming from the previous stored cache, right? So let me just copy this code and cache refresh this page, because the previous cache was stored and that's why it was printing the whole bunch of these values. Okay, so now I'm just pasting this code and I'm running this code again, and let me scroll down. Scroll has been printed. Now if I keep on scrolling, this function won't trigger, right? So we have implemented this function in a way so that it won't trigger again and again. It is only triggering only once. Okay, so it's not about you can only pass strings, you can pass anything, you can pass arguments or another function, or you can also make some kind of different conditions in this function. So this is how you can implement a function. This is called once function. So that you can use in various applications where you only require to call the function only once. Okay guys, so if you like it, make sure to subscribe my channel, hit the like button, and stay tuned for the upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching.